guys, so I'm going to be showing you how to do these evil eye nails today, which look like this. You'll notice they're pretty messy, and if you are familiar with the evil eye, you'll probably know, well, there are several different meanings for it. The meaning that I kind of am most familiar with is actually the Turkish meaning, which is basically it kind of keeps away bad thoughts and evil glares and stuff like that, and it's kind of like a good luck charm type thing. I'm most familiar with that because when I was pretty young actually. I was probably about 7 or 8. My friend, who is half Turkish, gave me this bracelet with an evil eye on it and explained it to me then, and that's pretty much how I know it. And she probably doesn't even remember giving it to me or anything because I haven't spoken to her in ages. Anyway, so if you are familiar with it, you'll know that there's often a lot of jewellery made out of, you know, the kind of symbol and stuff. It's made out of glass, and that has a messy look to it. It's not perfect. They're not, you know, perfectly like shaped circles and things like that. So I figured with my inability to do anything neat in my whole entire life ever, I thought that this would be quite a good thing for me to do. And I like how they've turned out, even if they aren't perfect. Very simple and easy tutorial, but I just think that they're really cool, so I decided to record it and show you. And I've never done this before, so that's probably why they are so messy. That is it. I'm now going to show you what you will need. For this tutorial, if you have one, I'd recommend using a dotting tool, especially if it's incredibly fine. If you don't, that's completely fine as well. What I'm using in this tutorial is one Q-tip. I use both sides of this Q-tip, but make sure it's clean. One pin. I only use this side of the pin, but if you don't have the next item, you can also use this side to make the fine dot in the middle. Just make sure that this side of the pin is smaller than your Q-tip. An orange stick type thing, mine's obviously blue, but essentially something with a fine point at the end. You have a surface to put your nail polish on. For this I'm using a Malteser's box, and I also use this stamp thing. Just anything that you don't really mind getting dirty and you probably have throw away, so if you have like a paper plate or something like that, that's completely fine too. You'll also obviously need nail polish. I'm going to list all mine in detail down below. Firstly, you want the colour that you have underneath as your base coat. As you can see, mine's a very, very dark blue which looks black. In this tutorial I'm actually starting from my nails already painted because I figured you don't need to see a tutorial on that. I then have this dark blue. Unfortunately this won't be listed down below because I don't know what this is. There's no label on it at all, but just any dark blue that you have. Then use a white. This one's quite thick and is actually meant for nail stamping, you know, like Conad and stuff like that, but I lost my one of them. But yeah, just a white. Another blue that is lighter than your first. Preferably a black. If you look at the label, this is actually called Twilight blue, but you can see that it's very, very dark. And on the actual nail, it looks black, especially for the dot in the middle, so you can't really tell, so it's okay. And then you want to seal it off with a top coat. Okay, so you want a surface to put your nail varnish on, and I'm just using a Malteser's box because I am. And taking your nail polish, you want to make a pretty big blob of it. Like, you want it to be really, really like wet and a really thick layer so that you can pick it up really well, not just a really thin one. Okay, and then so taking my Q-tip, I'm just going to kind of make sure it's completely covered in the nail polish and make a pretty big circle on my nail. Okay, so you'd be able to see that easier if I'd chosen a different background, so I do apologise for that. So I'm just going to leave these to dry for about 10 minutes. Okay, so the white nail polish I'm using is actually really thick and pigmented because it's actually for nail art, like the stamping things, but I lost my stamp of it. But I like it because it's really opaque. So, using the Q-tip again, I'm just going to make more a circle in the middle. I'm going to leave that to dry for another like 10 minutes or so. Okay, so now I'm taking this really pretty blue, and excuse the change, but yeah, so I'm just going to do exactly the same thing, and then taking the end of a pin to put it in the middle. Again, I'm going to go ahead and wait for that to dry for about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. But not least, I'm going to take the darkest colour, which for you might be black. For me it's this really dark navy blue. I'm going to do a big blob of it onto my surface. Now for this I'm using my orange stick, which is actually blue. But I'm being really careful to just get it right on the tip. None of it around it, just right on it. Carefully, as central as possible. I look really pale. I need to sneeze.